This is similar to another kind of magic called face changing, also called mask changing. In face changing, what look like masks instantly appear on the faces of the performers. The so-called art form of face changing originated in China. Even though more than 1.35 billion people live in China, it is estimated that only about 200 practice face changing. We will take a closer look at arguably the top 2 face changers in the world, Wei Shu Quan and He Hongqing. Quan is considered to be the best face changer in the world. For example, in one of his 3-minute performances, he changed his face 60 different times. It's quite obvious from looking at different performances by Quan that he could change his face 500 different times in 3 minutes. Take a look at this guy. He doesn't even touch his face. Notice how every single time he changes his quote mask, it is placed perfectly on his face, covering his eyes and nose every single time. Quan also said that the man who taught him this secretive practice was destined to teach him face changing. Quan went on to say that he was taught face changing in only 3 days. Quan and other face changers will even interact with the audience and change their face right in front of them. Quan spoke about one of his shows in which 3 cameras were set up to record his performance. The cameramen were attempting to discover how he makes the rapid changes. 2 cameras were right in front of him, while one followed from behind. Nevertheless, they still couldn't find anything that gave them any insight into how he is able to change his face so quickly. If someone believes his process of changing the masks is natural, he would have to be storing them somewhere, right? But face changers like Quan take off their hat after their performance, and you can see that there aren't any masks in the hat they wear. You can look at it. There isn't even one mask inside their hat. So where are they storing the masks? Notice how tight the outfit is below the neck. Obviously, the masks aren't being placed there either. What's really happening is that the masks are actually disappearing instantly. That's why even to this day, no video camera in the world has ever picked up even one clue as to how their quote masks are changing. No one has been able to give a natural explanation for how these face changers are able to do what they do. The only explanation is a spiritual one. In these clips, also notice that various face changers use a hat with horns on it. He Hongqing is the fastest face changer in China. Notice the 2 horns on top of his hat. One skeptic is baffled by how he changes his face as quickly as he does. But the skeptic doesn't believe it's supernatural. He explained to the viewing audience that others have tried to slow the recording down to figure out how he does it. But he says that there is no point in doing that because the magician is just, quote, too good at what he does. One cameraman admitted that he adjusted his camera to capture how the changes were being made, but he couldn't pick up any clues as to how it's being done. The real explanation for how the instant changes are made is that they happen with the assistance of demons. World-famous face changer Quan said, quote, face changing is a very secretive art form.
邊面嘅技巧咧就係好秘密嘅。
Quan will not only change his face over and over again during his performances, but he will also instantly change the color of his entire outfit. So where is he getting the new outfits that he's instantly changing into? There's no place for him to store the outfits or the masks. How is he able to switch and move the outfits and the masks perfectly in the blink of an eye? If people are looking for a natural explanation for these acts, they won't find one. There's simply no natural explanation for the instant transformation of his garments or masks, let alone both. In this clip, face changer He Hongqing makes an interesting statement about how the instantaneous changes are made.
Actually, what is amazing about face changing is its mystery. Through performance and movements, performers are in effect playing with magic. In fact, face changing is a kind of magic.
He essentially admits that face changing is supernatural when he says that face changing is, quote, playing with magic. We will now look at statements from other top magicians who admit that their magic comes from spirits. It needs to be pointed out that God has clearly revealed that to contact unknown spirits or to, quote, channel them is mortally sinful. Its activity he condemns. Those who do so open themselves up to demons and invite them to take possession of their souls.
No!